Hello everyone, hello and welcome to the Dune Imperium tourney. I am of course the Black Shadow, your host, commentator, and in this game, player as well. We're going to be looking back at the Group B Week 4 game that I played earlier today against AaronKalder, Felkdav, and Blindman. This happened a few hours or so ago, and I hope you guys are ready to see some pain and punishment, because oh my goodness me, this game. I don't want to spoil anything for you guys, but this is some match, and just, oh my goodness, I hope you guys are ready for a ride here. This was emotional, this was difficult, a lot of stuff happened in this game, and not a lot of it was good for me. So, here's a quick look at the table, by the way, as we get geared up here, it appears of making the choices. As you can see, first game didn't go too great, only got hold of second position here. I played Paul in like third spot or fourth spot, I can't remember what it was. It was a really iffy deck. Didn't really know what was going to happen. There was nothing really committing, so I figured I'd play flexible. And ultimately, I guess as the Imperium road played out, it was really bad for me. And everyone else that made picks, the Imperium just went in their favor. You know, alliance stuff for alliance people, money stuff for money people. It just went horribly wrong for me. And I had to fight tooth and nail just to get hold of third spot. So we come into this game knowing that we need to find a better result here. Otherwise, things are looking pretty dicey for us already in this tourney, in this absolute group of death that is Group B, because that's exactly what this is. It's a group of death. So here's the Imperium row. Have a quick look at this here. So, if I can find it. Look at this Imperium row. This is insane. So we've got Firm Grip, Treachery, Guild Ambassador, Guild Accord, Power Play. Influence everywhere. Oh my goodness me, what is going on? And then you got the text here as well. You got Chow Murky for tiebreakers, troop transports for shipping, if that's what we're going to delve into, and then detonation devices. Detonation devices is always interesting when it's up on the front of a pile, because typically someone sort of like turns sort of 4, 5, 6, who feels they've got a combat advantage, will consider to go detonation and try and make the most of that, and not just winning points here. So, interesting choice of everyone to make here. So, everyone choose their leaders. I get first position, which is nice. I don't often get that, it feels like sometimes. So, everyone makes their picks. Aaron goes and takes Leto here in 4th spot, which is totally fine. Leto in 4th is always good, always solid. Nothing wrong taking Leto, he's always pretty decent. We got a Paul Atreides pick from Blind in 3rd position, which is very cool. I like the flexibility of Paul. You know, obviously I enjoy playing myself. And, you know, first turn, if you can get, like, Signet Ring to Carfag, you can get a really decent card draw to pick up some of these. The thing is, it's a very expensive Imperium row, so that's got to be playing in your mind. We got Memnon taken for Felkdav here in 2nd spot. Now, I actually don't think this is the worst deck for Memnon at all. His intention is to try and make use of his connection ability to synergize with these factions and just rush an alliance, probably. Preferably rush the Spacing Guild if he can muster it, get hold of the Guild Ambassador, and use his Signet Ring in conjunction with the alliance, and just basically print money that way. It's not a bad idea. And so we get to us in 1st position. So we have all sorts of options for us here. And I decide I'm going to go committed here, and I take Tezia. Now, this is risky. Tezia, of course, is all about playing alliances here. 100%, that's her deal here. And with the Imperium row as it looks, this is obviously risky. The idea is I want to get hold of cards like maybe Firm Grip, maybe Treachery, and look to use those to try and escalate here. But trying to keep hold of alliances is going to be difficult because everyone's going to have some alliance power here. So Tezia is a little risky, but I figured I'd be able to ride the waves of her. I play Tezia a bit now. I feel pretty confident with her, so I go and make the pick. And we get upstairs to the first action turn. And our skirmish is, when we see it, we'll talk about our hand in a moment here, when we see it. And our skirmish is a smuggling skirmish here. Now, there's 6 initial conflicts you can get for conflict 1. 2 offer a victory point, 2 offer an influence bump, and 2 offer a smuggling shipping bump here. I honestly believe that the shipping bumps ones for Tezia are probably the worst ones for her, because victory points are victory points. They're always decent. And the influence bumps are huge for Tezia, because what you just do is turn 1, You go Hardy Warriors, you use that to win the combat probably, and then you duplicate that influence away to the Spacing Guild, and you use your skirmish point to go skating as well, and you basically cannot be stopped from going shipping. It's basically impossible. And it's really, really big for you. But we don't get it. We get the skirmish one with smuggling, bumping, something that's pretty rubbish. We do get a not bad hand here, though. We do pick up both our diplomacies. So we figure, well, okay, let's go. Opening turn's pretty straightforward. We go full space as we should do. Memnon goes smuggling straight away, suggesting he probably doesn't have a very good hand here. Now, Paul Atreides goes instant to fold space to tech negotiation here, which is very interesting to do that immediately. Typically, that means people are trying to obviously pay for the higher cards here, and they might well consider revealing instantly. That tends to be the play here. Leto is the follow. Now, Leto goes to Imperial Basin as well early. Also, another kind of curious choice here. I'm guessing the reasoning for this is that he obviously wants to fund his signet ring without going to a mining spot. He also puts in one troop here, so he's eyeing up trying to take a one of the Solari bumps here. He wants to get some cash going, preferably. And that's a nice way of trying to ensure that he's probably going to get some kind of money for his trouble here. So, you know, totally fine. I use my second diplomacy card because, of course, this is going to be a heavy influence game, so we have to start getting going straight away. I've got a couple of choices here with my diplomacy. I've still got 3, to be fair. I've got, well, 4 in theory. Secrets, I'm not going to. It's not worth it. So I can either go wealth and try and look to go for my Swordmaster early, and also I want to put influence down somewhere so I can obviously duplicate it to shipping next round, I should say. Or I can visit the Fremen and go either Steel Suits or Hardy Warriors. I usually will go Steel Suits more often than not, and there was money involved here, but I was very worried about the fact I might actually get edged out here. I had a feeling that one of these two was going Hardy Warriors. Someone's going Hardy Warriors here if I don't, like, for sure, 100%. And the problem is that both city spots are also still open, and Leo has already committed one dude in. So me going Steel Suits to try and pick up a cheap water might backfire, and I might find myself completely edged out of combat here. So I decided to play it a little safer, I guess. And I end up going to wealth here, and I take the 2 Solari, you know, just to help try and get towards Swordmaster High Council later on. That can't be a bad thing. Memnon takes Steel Suits because I didn't, which is fine. A Paul here eventually ends up, it takes a little while, I'm explaining how Tezzy works. Blindman here is not one of the newer players of the game's been introduced to the tournament, which is all well and good, and that's great. Aaron and Felkdav here, very, very good regs. To get put in the middle of them is about the worst spot on the table I could have had, being opposite Blind. I really want to be on either side of him, didn't get it. Believe me, this is the tip of the iceberg in this game. So Paul Atreides eventually goes Hardy Warriors, and look at this for a crazy player. So another reason I went wealth is because I was eyeing up turn 2 combat. I'm 4th in position, which means I have an advantage in combat. I can probably take it down, and I should target that. It's going to be better for me than this skirmish here, which is like really kind of cruddy for me. So Paul here goes Hardy Warriors and only puts in 1 troop. What? Wow. Didn't expect this. No one expected this. What a crazy play. Goes Hardy Warriors and just puts them on in garrisons. I mean, oh my gosh. How am I going to win second turn here? This is really bad news for me. Not looking forward to this. That's pretty bad. Leto, after a little while, eventually finds his way to Carthage. He's like, well, I might as well just take this damn combat down and call it a day. You know, it's shipping, it's a bump on this, you know, it can't be that bad. And then uses the signet ring, of course, to chase me on the Spacing Guild, as you would expect. And then we get to revealing here. So revealing is really awkward for me already. It's a very high-costing Imperium row. Unfortunately, I've drawn a convincing argument and a dagger in the same hand. Now, the dream situation would be to draw both of those in either way round. Preferably convincing first and then daggers second hand. But I'm kind of got half and half, which means I can't actually afford anything in the Imperium row. Damn. So I have to settle with a liaison, which isn't that bad. Memnon here has both his daggers in this one, which is kind of crazy. Saved his Sikh allies, because he might as well. I like that. It's a good little play there. So it ends up that Paul Atreides is the first person to actually pick up anything in this game to buy for influence here. Now, Firm Grip looks pretty decent. And I would take that. I would also, actually, it's worth pointing out, if we go back a little bit in time here. If I go back a little. My first action when I had diplomacy. So if we go all the way back here, I did have the opportunity here to instant reveal and take firm grip. I did consider it. I wasn't completely against this idea, and obviously firm grip is a pretty decent one for Tesia. What you can look to do is you can basically, with Tesia, is, or you have a shifting allegiance card, is just focus all of your attention into one influence track, and then use your cards to siphon that influence away to where you actually want it. And you can decide where it was as you go, basically. Could I have taken firm grip instead of going for, to take the wealth? I mean, yes, I could have done, but I don't think taking wealth is a bad thing by any stretch of imagination. But it is what it is. The problem is, as well, as turn 2, will probably last to reveal. I'm taking both my agent actions, most likely. So it means that all these good cards are here. And also my next hand, I'm going to struggle to have a decent influence hand here. So it's already looking a little bit awkward for me early on. So, you know, you could early reveal to pick up firm grip. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't, and Paul ends up taking it there. Eventually. We've got to go forward a bit in time here. There we go. Takes firm grip. Boundless ambition terms are here, by the way. That's kind of insane. Leader reveals for 3. Oh, Paul had 5, by the way. Not even 4, so he could have gone power play, but firm grip was probably a better choice. And Lido picks up a liaison, and battle is resolved as you see it here. Smuggling for Lido, and then money for the rest of them. All good. So, Combat 2 comes up. It is Guild Bank Raid. This is awesome for me. Really, really good. A real nice one for me to target to try and get Swordmaster super early. Paul is a concern there. No question about that, but this is a good one for me to fight. And let the chaos begin. This is where my game really starts, and it's you guys are in for just an absolute wild ride here. So, Memnon's up first here. Memnon decides to go smuggling. This is not a play I was expecting. Looking back, it kind of makes sense, but declines to go fold space. He's going to go smuggling here. The intention is he wants to get his High Council immediately because it's an expensive row, and also use that bump to try and probably go fold space. But he decides to go smuggling first, assuming that surely Paul is going to go fold space and stop Leto getting there. Paul goes Carthag. My first plan in this game, take Tesia and just rush shipping and use it as much as I can. Probably abandon it sort of like middle game because Leto eventually is going to get there and I can't stop him from getting there. And go from there. Immediate disaster. Paul goes Carthag instead. Finds his way there and decides to commit troops into the fight which I want to win. Oh my goodness me. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. So Paul does that. And he only puts in the 1 troop. This happened a few times with Paul here, and it's kind of curious to only put in the 1 and not just throw them in here. It's kind of more the threat of threatening to get more dudes in rather than actually doing it and hoping that carries you, but there you go. And so Lito's like, ka-ching, thank you, Merry Christmas, and Lito gets access to shipping turn 2. Player 4 gets access to shipping turn 2. What? That's not even meant to happen. How has this occurred? Ridiculous. So an immediate disaster for me. My shipping plan's gone. Get troop transports, try and get some dudes in, fight some early combats. Just completely gone on the wind. What a catastrophe. I still decide I have to go and go through with my plan, though, at this point. I still need to go and get the shipping here. I have to put Leto under some pressure. I can't just let him dominate shipping and go them wherever he wants. I've got to force him to do it, like, on my terms sort of thing. So I do it regardless. I siphon away from Emperor to go to spacing, just to kind of put him under that pressure. I've got no choice. I put my troops in, as I should do, because, again, I want to win this combat. And I pick up the liaison with my Arakeen draw. Huge draw for us here. We've got 6 persuasion. We can look to buy some stuff here. Huge. Thank goodness for that. Awesome stuff. We discard our dagger for the spice, because we're not going to be needing it this turn. And we move on. Memnon here takes High Council, as was expected, and so he takes his bump with spacing. Again, really nice play given the expensive Imperium row. I kind of like it, although, and again, expecting Paul to go full space and then didn't, but hey ho. This is the weird thing with Dune sometimes. I'm not criticizing Blindman here, not at all. But Dune is a game where if everyone kind of plays what you expect, there's a diplomacy, by the way, turn late. If everyone kind of plays what you expect them to play, the game kind of balances itself. But when people then start not playing those moves, it creates imbalances, which ultimately is going to heavily benefit one player and heavily disadvantage another. And that, of course, was me in this game. Shrug. So Paul goes wealth. He wants to obviously get his firm grip online as soon as possible to try and get some spice, get rock and roll with that, get some money together. I totally get it, but should have gone fold space first, letting Leto just cash in here. And Paul, of course, being on his right, is never going fold space, not anytime soon. So Leto's just got, like, in theory, absolute run of things here. But Leto makes an interesting move here. Instead of going to interstellar shipping here, he instead decides to, after a bit of a tank here, he ends up going artillery, goes to negotiation. Obviously has minds of trying to buy a certain cards here, and his maths didn't quite work out, I guess. Oh no, troop transports, I apologize. He banks it up. I guess his theory is that if he doesn't take troop transports, I'm going to take troop transports, which I probably wasn't going to do because I'm being pushed out of spacing here. So I probably wouldn't have bothered with it. Oh, there's artillery, my bad. And so that turns up here. So he takes that instead of going into Stellar. So, this is a problem you have in this game. And a situation you have. If there are only two people that can go interstellar at a point in the game, and they're next to each other, and the first person to act does not go interstellar, like here, like Leto, 3 out of 4 turns, Leto will have the choice to go interstellar before I do. Pretty much any time that he does not go interstellar shipping, you have to. You just have to go interstellar whenever you physically can. You almost have to drop everything else to do it to keep yourself competitive. If he's going to ignore it, you have to deny it to him because he has so much re-range. If I just do something else and he just goes interstellar shipping whenever he wants, he's going to completely crush this game. You can't allow that. So I feel like I have to go immediately. Now, again, I'm in this situation. I kind of want to insta-reveal. Given you've got Treachery on the top of the board, this is a great card for me. This is a great card for me. They're all really, really good cards for me. But I have to go interstellar. I can't just let him dominate this track here. I have to try and get involved where I can here. The problem with this, of course, is that everyone else is about to reveal first, and no one had good hands last time. Remember, Memnon had both his daggers last turn, so he's going to be able to have like 5 persuasion. He's going to buy something. Paul's got 4 cards. He's going to buy something. Memnon had a kind of a battle-heavy hand here, and he's gone tech negotiation. He's buying something. So I know I'm going to lose access to a lot of these cards, but I figure for instead of shipping, it's worth it. And so we make the commitment. So we go ahead and do it. Memnon reveals for 7, which is insane. Picks up Treachery. Really good card for him. Very, very nice. Nice way for him to kind of perhaps lean into his connections. Paul reveals for 5 as well here. Didn't put in any extra troops, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to win Guild Bank fairly easily and get my cash. Really, really nice. He's going to take Boundless Ambition here. A really nice card for him. You know, the faction access, the ring ability, card draw. Pretty good. Also wants to deny that to say Leto's Boundless Ambition is crazy, crazy powerful. You have to deny that there. Ixguild Pompat turns up Chris Knife here. And you can already start seeing what's happening here. The good cards are going, and the cards coming up in its place are not amazing. But Ixguild Compact, I looked at, I'm like, I might find some use for this later on down the line if I can find it. We'll see. So Leto eventually reveals, I don't know what the delay is here. Leto reveals for 5 and takes the Guild Ambassador. Makes total sense. He wants to just push this alliance. He has first access to shipping. And yeah, basically whoever has first access to shipping and Guild Ambassador's there, you take that, you push that alliance, and typically it's more or less impossible for anyone to reach it. So, completely makes sense there. And we make the reveal for 5, and we get put in an immediate tricky spot here. Piter turns up. Such a good card. One of the only... it's only him and Jessica that have a base 3 persuasion to buy here. And it's just like, wow, this is so, so big. But power play is also really good for me too. I'm also eyeing up Ixguild and Chris Knife and with a liaison. These two look really decent as a nice way to try and go for the Fremen Alliance. Ixguild Compact, I can discard a little bit and get some decent text going. These are all nice. There's lots of good stuff. It's only turn 2. Plenty of time to get use out of this. So, a lot of options here. You got to make a decision of what you want to do. And I ultimately end up deciding to take Piter here. The idea being that I think I'm going to have to buy some spice here. Power play is good, of course, to try and get out of an alliance, but everyone's got such big cards already. There's already a treachery out. Guild ambassadors over here. It's already looking a bit dicey here. So I figure that spice is maybe a safer bet for me, which is a little tricky. Tezia is typically not a very good spice must flow buyer, because her game is influence in combat. Because you tend to pick up a lot of influence faction cards, they tend to not have very good reveals on them as well. So you kind of have to sacrifice that a bit. So I figure this is a way to supplement that. It's probably a little bit more dependable. And Tezia, well, if you're going to win the game, you realistically need 1 alliance, if not 2. You're going to need a couple of battle points, and you're going to need maybe a spice must flow point or some intrigue points. That's typically how you're going to win your games. So I figure I'm going to go for Piter. It will be useful down the line. Probably Piter of Deviz is probably top 10 cards in the game. Maybe top 15. So really, really strong. So we take Guild Bankers. Awesome. We get that. Fantastic. Unfortunately, it means Paul also gets access to Swordmaster first turn 3. Or round 3, I should say. And that's a bit of a problem. So round 3 is Desert Power. Very, very nice. I always like going Hardy Warriors for this one here, because if you get top 2 spots, you're water neutral, and it puts pressure on everyone else. And Fremen bumps are always good for Tezia. You want to get acting on that. So Paul's up first, and Paul plays this. Goes Firm Grip immediately, and plays it to Wealth. Didn't expect this. Surely, I would have thought he goes Swordmaster, or maybe even Mentat. No, goes immediate Firm Grip. He's just pushing this alliance ASAP. Use the bump here to face up the shipping, I believe it is, he ultimately takes. Which makes total sense, and I would probably have done the same. And he goes and does that. I think I've been a Jessup for a while, but ultimately shipping it is. Leto goes to Isella with his full space card. Makes sense. Goes to buy cash. Very, very good. Up and down, call it a day, and takes the cash, and obviously he's going to push the shipping alliance, because who's ever going to catch him? Makes total sense. So then it comes to us, and we have a decision to make. Now, I think that this is probably... I don't think I did a lot wrong in this game. But I guess in the power of hindsight, this is probably the one time I did make probably an error. I should probably just go Dagger here to Swordmaster and just take it down and call it a day and move on with my life. But I want to put pressure on Leto here. He's put in troops with his troop transports, and I want to try and force him to kind of overcommit to this fight and get more dudes in and try and distract him away from doing stuff that he otherwise wants to do. So I end up deciding, going with my my raid of Hardy Warriors, get top 2 spots and go water neutral. I end up deciding to go Hardy Warriors, and I use my, I think it's my fold space to do it. And I go there, and I get them in. I feel like I need to put some pressure on the board. It's going to cost me our water. That's a problem. Menon obviously is hostaging Great Flat currently, and that is kind of an issue. And I need to do something about that. There was also the choice to go Haga Basin for 4 spice for the water. But I didn't really feel like that was doing that much for me with only 1 garrison troop. But I probably should have just gone Swordmaster there and called it a day. But I decided against it. I also wasn't entirely sure if Paul was actually going to go Swordmaster here. There are worlds he doesn't, because he had a chance to go there and he turned it down. So he, I don't know. He might not actually go there, might get there anyways. We'll see. So Memnon goes to Haga Basin with his Signet Ring. Makes total sense. That's 5 spice for him with his Signet Ring. Really awesome. So already potentially threatening Highliners. All sorts of stuff going on here. Very fun. Puts in the troop, which means he's probably not going Highliners this turn, but there's a lot of danger. His actual move was actually really, really good. Paul moves and takes Dagger. Now he takes Swordmaster. Ugh, damn. That's a little bit annoying, but there we go. Is what it is. It's fine. We'll just have to pick up Swordmaster next round. It's not a disaster. We'll make it work. Leto picks up Mentat. Yeah, this is the frustration here as well. So this is where the things really start already coming, flying off the roller coaster here. My theory is that if Paul goes to here, I could probably still go Mentat. Of course, Leto then immediately decides, oh, okay, well, I'll go Mentat instead. So my plan completely falls apart. Oh, for goodness sakes. I want to use the dagger for something, and both spots get blocked for me. So I'm like, that sucks. That really sucks there. I get why Leto does it. You know, it makes total sense, but that was pretty bad for me. Should have got Swordmaster and called it a day, but I didn't. So, anyways, that's done. So, I have a cunning play here. And this is a really cute play. Now, Memnon, in going for Hager Basin, ended up giving up the Great Flat. He can't get there anymore. He's given up his water here. So I make use of Tezia's snooper abilities, and I make a really, really clever play here, and I go Steel Suits. The idea being, I take the Throwing Point, which is obviously good. This means that my snooper tokens for Bene Gesserit and Emperor, especially Bene Gesserit here, is now going to give me the extra influence bump, which I'm going to need that firepower to try and take either of these alliances down. Because I don't honestly think I can hold Fremen easily. I'd have to commit there heavily, and the problem is that means I have to go fighting a lot, and I'm not really feeling like I've got a really decent fighting hand. I don't think it's going to be the way I'm going here. So I go Steel Suits, and the Snooper gives me 2 water. So I sort of take control of the Great Flat from Memnon. Really, really clever. I thought it was a nice little play to take that, look to hit this. Now, the problem, of course, with this as well, there's a second side to it. It looks like Leto is probably going to get himself to a second bit of water as well. So I'm already thinking about next turn here. And the idea is that Leto, when he goes to have his action, is going to have a couple of turns. He's going to be able to go to, instead of shipping, or he can go to Great Flat. I have to have both options available as well. Otherwise, if I can't go Great Flat, he just goes into Southern Shipping, and I'm just completely dead in the water. So I have to give myself both options and force him to choose which one he's going to take. Memnon here goes, this is a really, really good play here. Uses Treachery to go to Conspire. Really nice. Obviously gets himself running for his Swordmaster and stuff, but really brutally for us. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Hardy Warriors, and look at this disaster situation. I got 1 dagger. That's doing nothing here. Absolute catastrophe. So this looks pretty bad for us. We're going to struggle to get second place here. We're not winning anymore. We might end up with just a Spice for 3 troops, which is a horrendous return. Really, really bad for us here. Paul is going to go up next. Paul eventually goes Arakeen here for a card draw. Just garrisoning up. It's fine, I guess. It's not really doing a whole lot, but it's a thing. Leto, of course, has Mentat. And yeah, look at this. Guild Ambassador, Tech Negotiation, uses that bump to get his Highliner here. So that means he now also has access to his Swordmaster. Brutal. And he takes Artillery as well. That's going to be pretty big for later on in the game here. He's going to probably try to go sword heavy if he can help it. So it's a nice move by him. And yeah, so that means Leo's now got all sorts of decisions to make at the end of the next turn here. Oh, and beginning of the next round. So that is that. So we reveal for 4. So no power play. We're 1 short of what we kind of want again. So we have a couple of choices we can make here. And they're always okay. Bene Gesserit Initiate is sitting there. And it's kind of like an okay card, but I feel like we can do better. I'm eyeing up between Ixguild and Chris Knife. Chris Knife's Throne Bond here, I could try and get a passive hit or 2 out of that, and that will be good for us in this influence arms race that we find ourselves in. But I'm also looking at Ixguild Combat. There's a card I am liking more as I go. And this is still very early in the game. It's what, round 3? This game will still pay for itself in the long run. You know, if I can get a couple of discards of that, that is basically going to pay for a tech for free. And that is going to be huge. A nice way, you know, Chow Murky's looking up there, and I'm thinking, ooh, that's big times. I kind of got to take that. So I go Ixguild with the intention of trying to get a discard of it at some point. And also, I want to look to trash it at some point as well, probably via selective breeding, as we will be looking to chance for this alliance later on. Memnon finds his way to 5 somehow and picks up power play. That's bad. Fremen, Benny. Oh god, this is so bad for us already. Looking pretty dire. So Paul reveals for 4. And he eventually takes, I believe he takes the initiate here, which he does. And that reveals in the shadows. Kind of insane here. Real insane that turns up there. And I'm just like, wow, Merry Christmas, Leto. Dream draw for him. However, he is 6. And Leto decides not to take in the shadows. He instead goes down Guild Accord. Now, the idea for this is he's trying to synergize with Guild Ambassador here. Again, secure this alliance and just use this for its reveal effect, and also maybe get some cheap highlines out of it. Makes total sense. It's a very good card, I think. I don't think the reveal effect for Guild Accord is that amazing, but there we go. And yeah, look at this. Brutal. Absolutely brutal, this. So, yeah, just 1 spice for 3 troops here. Complete disaster for us. What a horrendous turn. Kind of ruining that I didn't go Swordmaster here, but what do you do? So that's that. Leader wins, takes it down with second wave, and he wins the combat. Now, this is also, it's very interesting, because it means that now 3 of us have 2 water, and there's 6 spice in the Great Flat on the next turn. So this is a crazy situation here. So Leto has a lot of choices. He can go Interstellar Shipping, he can go Swordmaster, he can go Great Flat. All of them really, really nice. And I'm going to have the choice of whatever's left. And Memnon will have to take whatever's left after that. Although he can't go Swordmaster just yet. So if he was to go Interstellar and I went Great Flat, Memnon is kind of forced out. And is like, damn. Can't really do much of my water here. That's the way it goes. So Leto takes a while to think about this. Because it's hard to know what you want to do here. 6 spice is huge. Swordmaster is huge. However, I am starting to kind of basically, kind of threaten Leto a bit here. I'm trying to, passively kind of get at him. Knowing that it's difficult for me to, block him. But I can try and, say, well, if you don't do something, I'm going to go do this instead. And try and put it in his mind. And try and do anything I can to kind of throw him off a little bit here. Do what I can do. Eventually, Leto decides to pay, to go his Great Flat. And he uses his Signet Ring to take Winford, which is totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. I think he takes it the Emperor. I don't think it really matters if he's against Emperor or Fremen. Both is fine. I think putting in your Signet Ring points here is fine. It's okay. And like I said earlier, if the player in position doesn't go into Stellar Shipping and you're right behind them, you have to go there. Anytime he gives up the opportunity to go into, you have to go there. If you're the only other person, you have to stop him going there. There's no question. So I happily sacrifice Swordmaster here. I would do this 100 times out of 100, and I go into Stellar here instantly. Not even thought about it. I take Chalmurky, which is really strong in the group stages. Gives me a couple of intrigues, which makes me innately harder to play against. Because no one knows exactly what I've got, and it just makes me more trickier to play. I pick up Master Tactician, that's not good. I got no garrison forces, and you've got artillery, and you're garrisoning up, and that's not a good pick. But I do pick up Recruitment Mission, which is not a bad card. Not so much for the fact you get the plus from reveal, but the fact that it lets you all the cards you take that turn, you can put on top of your deck to draw next turn. And I'm thinking, I'm first to bat next round. Okay, could have some fun with this. Okay, we'll keep it in the back pocket. And you got In the Shadows is up here, Guild Ambassador's there, Chris, there's a lot of potential good stuff to be had there. So, there's an option there. Memnon takes a little while, thinks about it, and he eventually opts to go to Imperial Base instead to take his spice. Gets him back up to 6 again. So again, threatening Highliners, which would get him access to Interstellar Shipping as well, which is, makes total sense. Paul uses Bounders. He tries to go to Carthag first, which is kind of funny. We're like, oh, you can't do that. That's not how that card works. So he ends up using his Signet Ring instead. Same thing, basically. Obviously, he wants to try and win the Imperial Base in here. Makes sense. It's a good combat to win. Good one to take. So he goes in and commits, puts in some troops. Makes total sense. Leto. Oh, man. This was my worry. And I was like, oh boy, Leto's going to chase this alliance down. And immediate first opportunity, selective breeding, Bene Gesserit. Oh, for goodness sakes. Why have you got to do this? I'm not getting this alliance. I'm ahead here, but I'm not particularly likely to hold it. I'm going to struggle to win this one. This is my most likely shot of an alliance to win. Goes there straight away. Ugh, terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible for us. Bad times. We couldn't go there. Maybe I was worried we were going to go there, but there we go. So, I have a bit of a decision to make. Now, you might be wondering, why haven't you already gone Swordmaster? Seeing as you didn't go the last round. And you're correct. Swordmaster is definitely an option. However, I'm terrified of this, and this, and this. I'm absolutely terrified. I already, at this point, the only alliance I think I'm likely to ever hold here and win in this crazy influence game is Bene Gesserit. I don't, here, it's going to be difficult to take it and hold it. People can always take actions. This is gone. I am ahead with the Fremen, but in order to stay ahead in that, I'm going to have to do lots of fighting, which my deck is not suited for already. It's kind of veering away from that, and it's just going to be a bit ugly. People are gearing up for fighting already with other cards they've taken, so it's probably not the place for me to go. I have recruitment mission. It's a tough one. Like, do you go Swordmaster, or do you insta-reveal and take this, you take Guild Admin. At some point, you use Guild Admin to trash your X Guild. You trash In the Shadows later on down the line as like a steal play, if you need to. In the Shadows is one of the best cards in the game. I can guarantee I draw it next turn. I'm first to act. It's super enticing. I make the reveal, and I go for it. I'm just like, I'm going to do it. If Leo gets hold of In the Shadows, this alliance is gone. I'm never, ever catching this. It's never happening. Never getting there. So I take In the Shadows. I put it on top. I take Guild Ambassador because I'm going to be going interstellar shipping probably first next action. And I can use this to trash. Unfortunately, I have to trash in my hand. I am going to not have any discards. It's kind of unfortunate timing. Not a lot I can do about that. It's still the right play. So we take that. And I got 2 to spend. I'm like, we'll pick up a liaison. You know, having a couple of liaisons in your deck is never bad. You know, you can try and use it later game with like some research station, pick up a spice. I didn't put it on top because I didn't want to completely clutter my hand. I had Piter as well, but I'm never going to buy spice. I'm just going to put it on my deck and kind of draw whatever I get, and we'll work it from there. I think that's fine. I didn't really want to have liaison in my hand this turn. I wanted it the one after. So I put it into the discard pile, which you are totally allowed to do. So Memnon is up next. Memnon ends up going Highliners. He goes adventuring, as I thought he might do. He's taken Imperial Basin. That is bad news for Paul. There's not a lot he can do about it, potentially. Except a bit of weirdness here. Memnon is out of actions. Paul still has 2. That's frightening. And so Memnon goes all in. Throws them all in. 14 strength. He's going to just go for it. The weird thing for Memnon is he already has 4 water. So it's not a case of like second positions, like, you know, 2 water's great. He's already got loads. It doesn't really do a lot for him. So Memnon, by doing this, is kind of doing all or nothing. So he just throws it all in and rocks and rolls, which I think is fine. Boundless for Paul. And he goes Wealth again. Just trying to get Firm Grip online as soon as possible here. Like, I can't believe how much he's pushing this. And again, giving further credence to the fact that I have to fight for the Benny Alliance. It's the only one I think I can realistically hold, probably. And Tesia going to Bene Gesserit is always strong. You want to go down that route. So, loads of reveals here. And look at this. Look at these reveals here. This is insane here. So, Duke Leto reveals when he eventually does here. No, just waiting here quickly for it to turn over to him. Look at this. Has 8 reveal. Whoa. No, he doesn't. He has 7 here. My apologies. 7. So he takes the power play. Disaster. He takes power play here because you know power play's going here. He's probably going to power play to selective breeding. It's an incredibly powerful move to power play selective breeding. I'm just like, oh, for goodness sakes, what have I got to do to get an alliance here? So, just everything at the moment, like, all the action people are taking, it just feels like this is all just going horribly wrong. You know, it's all just having knock-on influences on me. This is just so terrible. What am I going to do here? If I don't get any alliances to Tesia Vernius, I'm just so screwed. Memnon reveals for 6. Still got a Seek Allies card. That's twice he's revealed it now. This is pretty awesome. Takes Gunfopter. That's a declaration of intent right there. He's going to war. Do Kleino's also going to war? Oh boy. I need to not fight in this game. Master Tactician, looking pretty crap right now. So Paul still has an action to play here. He's never going to win the combat here. He's just looking to see what turns he got. And he decides just to kind of go Steel Suits, I believe he goes here. Just to cash in the point, you know, maybe challenge for the Alliance potentially later. Get the water. Can't be bad. You know, has options. Maybe he might go Hagger Basin next turn. You know, having the water's never a bad thing. Maybe even his research station later on down the line as well. So I think that's totally fine. Reveals for free. Had both daggers on hand. That sucks with the Highliner. Nothing to do about that. And he ends up taking, I think he takes the Bene Gesserit's sister here, which is a totally fine pick. Nothing wrong with that at all. I think that's totally okay. You know, it's always a nice sort of solid flexible card. You can do with it what you want. Bene Gesserit access is never bad. You've not got any of your council stuff yet, so I think that's totally fine. And so that is going to be that. Memnon wins, Imperial Basin, and a couple of water for Paul here. Oh, he doesn't go Steel Suits. My apologies. He went Fold Space. My apologies. He was going to, and then he changed last minute. So everyone has shipping access now. A bit late for Paul, though, all being honest. So it is round 5. It is Siege of Carthage, which is not a bad one to pick. It's a little bit late maybe on down the line. But it's kind of like pretty open. So he's going to go for it. Paul has a nice chance of trying to secure this, but we'll see how we go. And it's us to go first. So, here's our hand here. It's a fiddly one. It's really awkward, but also decent. We've obviously got Guild in the shadows. Piter's there. And our two other cards is Dune and Convincing. Could have been better. So, Interstellar, I have to go to first. Now, annoyingly, this means that Leto could well go to this, to the Swordmaster. But I have Mentat as a backup, and I don't think Paul or Memnon are going Mentat immediately. I just don't think it's happening here. So I stick to my guns. I use Guild Ambassador. I go instead of shipping to prep that up here. And then I end up trashing Dune, because I need to get rid of something here. I was not immediately against trashing in the shadows and taking my double bump with the Fremen on the spot. I was very, very tempted to do that. But it felt like a bit excessive. Felt very exotic to even try and go down that route. I should really try and keep in the shadows for some other effect, at least for a little bit of time. So I decided to do that. We just trashed the Doom, which is always fine. Memnon goes to smuggling here to cash in his stuff, as he obviously wants to do. So he rocks and rolls. Couple of troops. He gets the spice and the water for spice and slurry. Takes cash. So now Memnon also is available to go Swordmaster here. And oh, man. And of course, who goes first next turn? Memnon. Oh, for goodness sakes. So it looks like they're probably both going to get Swordmaster out. I'm going to be the last one. I was like, first person have potential access to the Swordmaster. I'm going to be the last person now to get it. I'm just, jeez, that's not good. This looks pretty bad. So Paul is up. Paul ends up using Windfall and uses it to get a High Council. Gets it fairly early, which I think is totally fine. Nothing wrong with getting that in. He's obviously potentially looking to get hold of Spiceless Flow. Leto gets Swordmaster, as was expected. And then I believe I immediately retaliate with Peter to Mentat in order to pick that up there. And we draw. We get Calculated Higher. Not a bad intrigue that actually, a Calculated Higher. It's difficult because Leto's on my right, and he in theory should be dominating the Mentat here. And obviously next round, I'm going to be last to act here, which is also awkward. But, you know, the next couple of rounds after that, when the first turn's here or here, I could very potentially get hold of Calculated Mentat Higher. So that'll be useful later on in the game. Not right now. That'll be decent. Look at this savage move here from Memnon. Wow. Power plays Fold Space to take the Alliance away from Leto. It's looking that dangerous. Savagery from Memnon. What a move. Just complete violence there. What a play here. The savagery does not stop there, however. You're about to see carnage here. So Paul is up. And Paul ultimately plays. There was a bit of tanking in this game, as he said. Paul ends up using his water that he gained earlier to pick up some loose spice. Obviously, get some troops in the Carfag. Makes sense. You know, Carfag's pretty nice. Oh man, yeah, we'll get to that in a second. Only puts in the one troop, however. I'm like, now this is most curious here. What's going on here? This is very strange. Surely you put in more here and try and win this combat, but Paul did this a bit throughout all the whole game here. Look at this move. As I've always said in this game, if someone makes what looks like a really weird play, something bad is about to happen for someone else. Guild Ambassador, tech negotiation to pick up the water. He didn't buy that for the water particularly. Felk knew what was coming. And I knew what was coming. Absolute savagery. Okay, so here it is, back to us here. And do you remember what I said earlier about Tesia and how we're going to win games? To win games with Tesia, you're typically going to have to find a combat VP or two. You just have to. You know, you with all your influence stuff, you're going to be joining the combat, and you need to realistically pick up a couple points in combat somewhere. Look at this. Carfag, one dude in. That's it. I've got Master Tactician. This is the chance. Here we go. However, disaster has already struck our hand again if we go back here. When we went to Paita and drew Mentat, I was thinking I might end up playing in the shadows to do something here. It's not impossible. But what I want to do is reveal in the shadows to get the reveal bump, to get the double bump on the Bene Gesserit, and then look to probably hit there physically ourselves perhaps next turn and take the alliance. I pull my other convincing argument about the worst card I could have pulled in the deck. My other convincing argument. At least even if it's a sword, I can still fight and do something with it. You know, I could go tech negotiation. I could do anything with it. I pull my only other card in my entire deck that has no agent actions. What? How do you find that? Disgusting. So I'm like, screw it. I've just got to do it. The Carfag VP is just too strong to go for. So I use in the shadows. Bear in mind, agent action does nothing at all currently. It's completely dead. And I use it for Carfag. Horrible. Horrible. Anything would have been better. I pull a mining card. I go Imperial Basin. I go Great Flat. I pull, like, a Fremen Access. I go anything. I pull Convincing Argument. Disgusting. So I go Carfag here. I pull Council's Dispensation, which is hardly a bad intrigue. That could be good for us later on. Especially if, as I am leaning into Spice Must Flow potential buying, getting hold of Paita here and trying to trim my deck down. So that's not a bad pull. You know, we can look to synergize that later on, and we get stuck in there. We put them in. Memnon here reveals for 4 and ends up taking Bene Gesserit Initiate. Never wrong with that. Then Paul has an action here. So Paul, what does Paul do here? Now, I was thoroughly expecting a retaliation play from Paul. I was thoroughly expecting to see maybe Arakeen. Maybe he might even go Imperial Basin or something. I wasn't entirely sure. I was thoroughly expecting to see a trip to the Fremen, realistically. Probably Steel Suits or Hardy Warriors. And for him to take Carfag and just my life be miserable. And maybe I just use Master Tactician. I just retreat 2 troops back into my garrison and take second spot. An Intrigue and a Spice is hardly a bad second spot. Look at this. Firm grip again from Paul. It's the third time, I think. Second or third time he's played firm grip to the Emperor. Like, oh my goodness me. So he's taken the lines. He's absolutely bum rushed it. Again, further credence for me not going there. Garrison's a couple of troops. But the big thing, he's not putting anyone in. Oh my gosh. Carfag. We're going to take Carfag for really cheap. Nice. Okay. This game has not gone our way at all. A lot of our opening plans have completely fallen apart. But finally, we're getting a little bit of luck here. You know, Paul decided not to contest Carfag here and happy to let me take it down. Fantastic. Really, really good. Savagery. Absolute savagery. And Leto takes it back. Disaster for everyone. That is so crazy. How did Leto draw Guild Ambassador and Guild Accord in the same hand from a blank deck. Wow. Disgusting. What can you do? Absolutely nothing. The only good thing for everyone else is at least Leo had to use the rest of his turn to get back the alliance here, and it cost him, like, you know, a good couple of agent actions to do so. So it wasn't, like, completely without reward for everyone else, but still, oh, man. Especially because Memnon goes first next action, he just goes fold space, and he just holds it. And that's it. Lido can't do anything with these two. Just dead cards. Guild Ambassador probably is going to end up getting trashed. He might have ended up doing that at some point down the line. Nope. So we reveal for 4. And we look at our Imperium row again. Look at all these fighting cards. Duncan, Full Scale, Spice. I'm like, no. No, I've got to try and get some faction stuff going on. We're going to go Chris Knife here. We've got a couple of liaisons. Some way we will get the influence bump here from Fremen, and that will help us with... I don't expect necessarily to hold the alliance, but it might just give you an edge later on to make things awkward for people. So we eventually take the Chris Knife and look to go there. Combat is resolved. Nothing else really interesting happens, I don't think. Leo picks up Duncan. Combat resolves, and I take Carfag. Huge battle for us there. I was kind of expecting more of a fight, but as it turned out, I got it reasonably cheaply. So a really good result for us there. Fantastic. Okay, so it's round 6 is up next. It is the Siege of Arakeen, so the other city coming in. All 3 flags are going to be placed down here. Unfortunately, not going to get the most value of the cities in theory by the looks of things, but that's kind of the way it goes, but hey ho. We pull a horror hand immediately. Look at this hand. Double dagger, double liaison, Brecon. Oh, this is disgusting. So really bad. Melon, of course, immediately goes Swordmaster, as he should do. So I don't get access to that. That's the way it goes. Paul opens up eventually. With steel suits, obviously, again, wanting to get stuck in. Perhaps starting to learn the lesson of not just putting in one dude and perhaps overcommitting a little bit more here. So he goes and puts that in, the two that try and take Arakeen instead. Leto has to go Interstellar here. With me sitting there, I'm just threatening going there, so he has to go there before me, which he does decide to do so. And then my first move, I'd already decided what I was going to do here. The moment I saw the hand, I was like, I've only got one logical play here. And that is Research Station. And we go there, we hit it up. We got our water, we're going to use it. We have to improve our hand. Maybe this is the hand we pick up Spice Must Flow, you know? It's not impossible. Unfortunately, Pite is down the side here, so we're never getting that. But we'll see what we get here. Okay, not bad, you know. We pick up Signet Ring and Diplomacy. Signet Ring still has a bit of use here. We've got a couple of Snooper tokens still going, and Diplomacy is never bad to have here. So I've already got a lot of options here. I'm already eyeing up, like, Selective Breeding if it gets back round to me. That way we can get Spice, because we only have 7 Persuasion currently, which is not enough. I could go High Council and buy it and take and get to 9 Persuasion. Very possible. The only other person needs to go hasn't gone there yet is Leto. But ultimately, he can't get there. He can't pay for it. So that's you know, that's a thing. I also sit for a moment thinking about taking Calculated Higher for Mentat, and I'm like, I don't know. Is it really that good for me right now? I don't know. I need to use this at a really critical time. So I decided to be patient, and I let it go. And I feel, if someone else grabs it, so be it. But no one seemed to be really after Mentat heavily in this game, so I didn't really feel compelled to, like, immediately go for it. That plane was really low. Memnon goes to Great Flat for Spice. I'm like, okay, it's a little curious. Not what I was expecting to see, but okay. Didn't quite know what was going on there. Paul ends up eventually going forward space. He used that to go secrets. Oh no, come on. I need to hit here. Again, eyeing up our alliance to me to hit my second action. First space gets blocked up. And you know what's coming, don't you? Of course you know what's coming. I told you this was happening two rounds ago. Of course he's hitting there with power play. Absolute disaster. Once again, plan just blown up in smoke in my face. Nothing I can do about it. Just complete disaster for us again. Oh my gosh. What have I got to do to try and make this work? It's just, like, so disgusting. So that happens there. That's a horror situation for us. However, there is a backup. By him doing that, I do find an alternate play, which is good and keeps me in the race. That as bad as that move was, I really was hoping he was going to go and do something else, and I eventually find it here. Now, I believe I go, here we are, smuggling. I do it with my signet ring. The idea being is that I can still duplicit away to here. I think I use the Fremen here because, again, I'm not really fancying getting the Fremen. I have to keep hold of this access for now. I can't just give it away because it's just too good for Leto. And trying to keep him away because these two aren't really doing a lot of shipping. It's mainly us two, so I've got to try and keep him on his tones as best as I can. So I duplicate away from the Fremen to take the bump with the Bene Gesserit. Our Snooper Token gives us a third bump, and then shipping gives us another bump on top of that. So 3 bumps here, and we go from nowhere to Fremen Alliance. Bene Gesserit Alliance even huge. Cost my Fremen point, which is a problem, but hey-ho. We pick up War Chest as our intrigue for the combat for later on. That's actually not bad. We do have a lot of Solari at the moment. That's obviously because I haven't bought anything expensive currently. I have no Swordmaster. I have no High Council. So I'm like, okay, fine. And also, Secrets is blocked here, so I feel kind of happy to not use any of these cards here. None of them are that great. Calculated High is pretty decent here. However, I again look at Mentat here, and I'm like, I'm kind of eyeing up combat here, and I'm thinking, this is kind of a little suspect here. But I'm patient once more, and I don't get involved, and I take a chance here, a big chance, because I was sure Leto was probably going to go there, and that's it. I don't use Calculated Higher. I hold off on the Mentat buy. I don't do it yet. I take my time. Memnon finds his way to Hardy Warriors, and watch this. Memnon, Hardy Warriors, doesn't commit. He puts in a dude here. 1 dude. What? Unreal. What on earth? Memnon is gearing up for conflict freeze. He doesn't want to win. He doesn't want to win 1 victory point for his forces. He wants to win 2. Memnon's going to wait. He's going to be patient. Paul ends up having to play. So Paul's in this really weird spot. He doesn't really know what to do here. It looks like he's probably going to win the conflict here. Because surely if someone had calculated higher, they would have played it by now, right? You would expect. This is very tricky. Looking like I'm going to reveal and then playing calculated. Very tricky stuff. So Paul ends up going to tech negotiation here for a second time and doesn't buy anything. What? Spy Satellites is in there. Spy Satellites is funny in that it's actually not that good a tech in this game because there's so much faction influence. Spy Satellites is kind of killed. If you're really going to buy Spy Satellites for 4 spice and then spend 3 spice to trash it for a point, you should probably be doing something else with that spice. I'm not going to lie. That's very, very expensive just to do that for a point, but, weird things happen. So Paul here ends up just stacking up his negotiator there for later on. I guess he's just waiting for a better tech to turn up. I don't know what exactly he's waiting for. I would probably have grabbed that. Or maybe just grab training drones or something. Training drones wouldn't have been pretty good for him. But ultimately, that's what he ends up doing. So, okay, I guess. Maybe he had something particular he wanted to buy here. I don't know. Leto is up next. Leto. Yeah, look at this. Leto. Look at this play. Now, one thing that I was doing, or trying to do with this here, another reason I was not using the Mentat, and I was trying to deceive people, obviously, that I was probably going to use it if I had the chance. I was also trying to force Leto to make his reveal now. Because I assumed Leto was probably going to go for Charm Delegate, was my assumption, because it seems reasonable. And I wanted to kind of I figured he was going to get it regardless. I can't stop him getting it. Or someone's going to get it. So if he wants to get it, he has to reveal now to get it. To my surprise, he does reveal he buys full-scale assault. Whoa! What is this buy? Outrageous! He's going dreadnoughts? He's looking at devices here? Wow, didn't expect this. So the arms race between Aaron and Memnon here continuing to build as they just keep buying bigger, badder weaponry. Obviously looking to tie up here with R2, but did not expect that play. I was like, wow, that's insane. And then I look at this situation, I'm like, okay, we got to strike. Like, this game is still not going very good for us here. We're in trouble, but here's our chance. Here we go. Tricky time. Here we go. Calculated calculated higher here. Let's rock and roll. Annoyingly, the throwing spots are blocked up, so it means I'm going to have to use a liaison here to go to, like, Carthag, which is what it is, but so be it. But we're going to go ahead and do it. Now, at this point, I was sure that Paul Atreides had, like, a combat card on him. It felt very likely that he had 3 intrigues. It's always likely they have at least 1 combat intrigue on them. So going to Carthag was a little risky, because, of course, it gives me 4 intrigues in hand. I pick up Glimpse the Path here. Really huge here. However, I here am so sure that Paul Atreides has a combat card. I think he's going to use it to try and take Arrakeen, because I stole Carthag from him. He's not going to let me steal Arrakeen from it too, is he? Surely not. Worm Riders pick up for Memnon here. More freaking arming up here. It's kind of crazy. I'm so sure that Paul is going to do that. And Glimpse of the Path here is also awkward as well. The problem with Glimpse of the Path is that it doesn't really do anything for me to use it right now. The card draw is going to be so much more better for me next turn. So now, what am I going to do with the card draw here? I've got 4 Persuasion. This deck is rubbish. Outside of Chowam and, like, G-Manipulation, like, I don't care anything about this Imperium row. I'm on Spice Must Flow or not interested at all. I'm trying to look, I'm thinking, what have I got in the rest of my pile to draw? Not a lot. It's just nothing going on here. So I'm kind of conscious of that. Paul Atreides ends up making this move here. And by this move, I mean he takes ages to reveal and then doesn't, which is very strange. I assume. Has he got an urgent mission? If he did, he didn't play it. So he reveals here. He uses the 2 swords for the Bene Gesserit's sister to pick up the 2 swords here, which is fine. And so again, I'm like, here he's readying for like ambush or something, like 100% here. I'm gonna have to use Master Tactician. I might have to use War Chest, and instead of having the 10 Solari for the end game point, I might have to just use it for combat. I'm not really entirely sure. I'm so sure it's coming. He buys Gene Manipulation, and that's it. What? Doesn't take Chown Delegate. Unbelievable. Didn't take anything else. I'm like, wow, that's pretty insane. Did not expect that. So that's all he buys here. We make the reveal, and we make a couple of choices here. We have to take Chown Delegate, because we have no choice. That's going to be really good. Again, with this shipping war with Leto, that helps alleviate the fact that he goes first. So I have to take Chown Delegate. We also find Cool Intrigue turns up on the row here because of the G-Manipulation. This is actually a really good card for us for multiple reasons. First of all, we have to get access to this faction. We have done nothing on this track so far, and we need to start doing stuff. Secondly, I can't be blocked, which is also good. But thirdly, it also lets me cycle out intrigue cards. And what do we have several of? Intrigues. And how good are some of them? Rubbish. So it's a nice way for us to cycle through some intrigue cards here, like Master Tactician or whatever else, the stuff I don't want to use, and we can use that as a way to cycle through and find something more suitable for our game plan. So here we go. We go to combat. I'm ready. Master Tactician, War Chest. Hell, I'll use both if I have to. Let's fight. He passes. He completely passes. He doesn't play anything. I'm like, what? Oh no, you've got to be kidding me. Oh man. I'm just me sitting here with 4 intrigues and just like begging for someone. And it's not even like Bene Gesserit. It's so high competition. Leto's going secrets. It's so not fair. It's absolutely disgusting. And I was like, how do you not play anything there? What? Complete madness here. So he doesn't play. We take Carthag for our 6th point, which is good. So we've done all the combat we're ever going to do in this game. We've somehow got both cities, which is insane. But this is, like, not fun at all. Round 7 comes up. It's Economic Supremacy. This is a huge combat for me. And not because I'm getting involved, because look at the game situation here. You got 2, if not 3 people going to war here. Aaron was ready for a fight. This is the worst combat that could have come out. This does nothing. He has no resources. He can't get anything from this horrible spot for Aaron here. Really disgusting. Paul and Memnon do have plenty of supplies, however, and they will be looking to take a couple points in this combat if they can, if not more. And it's just, oh, this is interesting now. Lots going on here. Our hand draw is good, but also bad. We find in the shadows, which we can now use. We got its guild compact, which it seems an automatic unload to get the in the shadows benefit. And I'm like, ooh, we got some potential here. We pick up Court Intrigue and our Signet Ring, so tons of potential influence playing around with here. And you know, I'm thinking, okay, we got all options here, pretty cool. So Paul refocuses, and he ends up playing Dune. Goes to Imperial Basin, which is a somewhat strange play. I didn't expect this. He's getting up to 7 spice because there's a lot of free stuff, and he's possibly eyeing up Highliners, but it also activates Highliners for Memnon. He can now get there. And it's not impossible he might decide to go there as well. We'll have to see. So interesting play from both of them. From Paul there. Didn't expect that. Leto here ends up using Signet Ring. He goes to the Stellar. Again, he feels like he has to because every time he's not gone into Stellar Shipping, I've gone there immediately. So he feels like he's got to get the value out of it with his troop transports and such. So he has to go there straight away, which he does. And look at this. Oh my god. 1 bump from Signet Ring, 1 bump from shipping. How does he find the Signet Ring? Every time they find the card. It's just like, this is a disaster. So, Alliance goes bye-bye. Hideous. I can't even get there. I've no Bene Gesserit access. What am I meant to do here? Hideous. Hideous. I can reveal in the shadows, but then what? I need something else. I need an extra option to get there. What am I going to do here? Horrible situation. If I don't get Bene Gesserit Alliance, my game is probably over. It's a disaster of a situation here. How Leto finds it, I don't know. Just happens to get Signet Ring and just like, boink, thank you. Horrible hand. So this is a disaster for us. And I'm this point, I'm really frustrated. Like, I'm really frustrated how this game has gone. How, like, most plans that I've had in this game have just gone completely off the rails. I had to, like, I was able to scheme my way and find my way to take Karthag and Arakim, which is 2 big points, don't get me wrong. But even that had to come with some sacrifices. So, in what I want to do other stuff, like in the shadows and taking the reveal, I've already had to give that up once. I'm just, oh, for goodness sakes, what am I meant to do here? Really horrible stuff here. Training drones take from Leto, continuing this arms race here, just continuing to escalate, kind of insane. Horseman engine turns up, obviously really good, but what are you going to do? It's not too bad. So, we're at this spot here. And like, what do I do? Bene Gesserit Alliance is getting away from me. I don't think there's anything I can really do. It's a horrendous, horrendous spot here. What on earth do I do here? Now, I can get Swordmaster at this point whenever I want, because everyone else has got it. So, as far as I'm concerned, I do not need to go Swordmaster straight away now. There's no point. I might as well do something else first. And I start scheming. I start looking at my hands. I'm thinking, what can I do here? What's going on? What are my options here? I ain't got a lot of spice. That's a problem. I've got tons of cash, but it's about to start getting used. Mentat's still sitting there. That looks pretty nice. You know, I've got options. You know, maybe I can make something happen. The automatic, or in the obvious play, is to use in the shadows along with the X-Guild and unload that and put the influence somewhere. That's exactly what I do. Straight to Mentat, bang, it's there. Take the action. We're going to need it. I pick up Paita. Real nice draw that. Ooh, that's pretty good. And there's the unload for X-Guild there. And we're starting to stock up here. None of these techs currently are particularly good, but eventually we're going to find one. But notice I put it into the Emperor, so I'm already planning here. Here's the plan. It's a clever one. What we're going to do is we're going to look to use Court Intrigue, and we're going to look to try and put some pressure on red here. And maybe there's worlds I can find a way to even take this alliance. You know, just get me in there, get some garrison troops, give myself options. Look, there's some Memnon. Bang! Dreadnought. Like, what? You're doing what? Bang! Detonation devices. Hello! Hello! Him and Leto are about to absolutely clash here. And this is good for me, to be fair. This is fantastic news for me here. This will hopefully, they're all going to try and get involved here and try and take some points, and I might be able to finally enact some sort of plan and get myself back into this game, because currently I am last. I am so far out of this game, it's not even funny. Leto looks so good here, Memnon's looking threatening, Paul's doing pretty solidly for himself as well. I need something to break my way. This game has gone so poorly for us so far. Watch this. Hello. The dreadnoughts from Paul. He dispatches his convincing as an envoy, and he gets stuck into this fight too. I'm like, oh, this is huge. This is perfect for us. All three of them are just committing and just taking lumps out of each other. This is fantastic news for us. Fantastic. Yes, get them in. Fantastic. Awesome. This is our chance. This is our turn. We've had it rough so far. Maybe we can make something happen here. We'll see how things go. Leto has to respond here and does. He goes Duncan to Arakeen for the double, spends the water, gets the couple, everything in here. Throws everything in here, basically, at the end of this. And this is a horror spot for Leto. As I mentioned earlier, Leto cannot win any more than a point in this combat here, because he has no resources. He's having to try and get involved so that he denies them, because they can both get multiple points. Memnon could find a way to get 3 points in this, potentially. As insane as that looks. He could go Hardy Warriors, and then who knows what else he could do. Go like, I don't know, something or another. Might find Intrigue, might go to Carthag, Siege, I don't know. And Memnon could find his way to a couple, if not 3 points in this combat, and that's a disaster for him. So Leto has to play the role of denier here, much to his own chagrin here. He doesn't really want to. He's putting all these resources in just to try and stop these two. Feels bad. So, here we go. Part 2 of the plan. Court Intrigue. Here we go. We've got this stupid Master Tactician that's now doing completely nothing for us, by the way. Also, how did I not use Glimpse the Path in the last, before this action? Like, when I revealed the first, I have no idea. That was a mistake. Whoops. So here we go. Double bump, couple of garrison and troops. We get rid of this Master Tactician, get us out of here. Don't want it. It's done. Dead to me. I'm not fighting. We need to find something better. Here we go. Anything's better here. Think of all the cards that could be better here. We pick up Finesse. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Steal opportunities. Hello. We might be in some business here. Here's Glimpse the Path. Now I remember to use it. Okay, let's go. Oh my god. Guild Ambassador. Finesse. In the shadows. Oh my god. Here it is. Monster draw! We find it! We find the draw! We can take 6 on the benches of the Alliance and completely deny it to Leto. We're there! Finally, after all this time, we get the massive card draw we've been waiting for like 6 rounds to really get hold of. It finally turns up here. And I mentioned at the very start, when we first got these cards, at some point, I'm probably going to use Guild Ambassador to Trish in the Shadows to try and cement this alliance. And here we are. We've got it. We've got it. It's so huge. And, like, Leo's never going to secrets here. Like, why would he ever do that? He's got to fight. He's so committed into fighting, and he's invested in this. Like, what's he ever going to do? Oh, this is absolute dream spot. Memnon here goes to, wherever he goes to here. I didn't see what his move was. I don't know if he's played it yet. He went Bene Gesserit Initiate to, what did he do? I actually don't know. I've completely missed it. Oh, he didn't go Bene Gesserit. Oh, no, he went Diplomacy Steel Suits. My bad. Apologies. I was like, what the heck's going on? Just puts in the Dreadnought. He's obviously trying to look to get hold of third spot, which makes total sense here. Get the resources, which is pretty nice for him. Paul with G Manipulation. Heads on his way to research. They're like, whoa, okay. So it looks like he's probably going to go for Spice Must Flow here. Paul just, like, getting stuck in, trying to, like, even potentially win this game this turn. I don't know if he can, realistically, but he can make a really good shot for trying to get there, so really, really good for him. This is, I think, this is the most tragic part of this entire game. If you have sat here for an hour plus watching this and listened to me detail and chronicle this game's ups and many, many downs that I had, this is disgusting. I'm finally there. It's ready to happen. Watch this. Leto has to get involved. He's got to fight. He has to fight. He has to stop these two from trying to get multiple points. If he lets them just have it freely, he's in serious. How's he going to win this game? Watch this. Full-scale assault. He plays full-scale assault. What? He reckons that it's more useful to play full-scale and just get troops in than it is to hold it for the artillery and the swords. He's probably right here. goes Carfag. The funny bit is, all these visits to these cities is actually funding my cash here for war chest and all this stuff, which is really hilarious. So Leo's gonna get all the way stuck in here, and he does. In he goes, puts in the troops here. Look at this commence. He's got tons of troops for 1 victory point. What's going on? Madness. But he does it. He feels he's got to deny. Huge decision to make here, but there he goes. And he's thinking, he's like, am I happy with this? Do I want to put that many troops in? Is this white? Is this correct? I don't know. I feel like I have to. It's kind of icky. But it's what he's got to do, right? He's got to stop red. Denial points there is still effective. So even if he's not getting it himself, he's still denying. He passes. He passes. Oh my god. It's here! And I'm literally about to go and grab Gilmbasser, and he says, whoa, hold on a second. I've got something else I need to do before you take your turn. Oh, man. And the moment I hear those words, I know exactly what's coming. I so badly wanted to say no and say, you've passed your turn. I didn't even need to see what was about to happen. This is hideous. Carfag got in bribery. What? There was 40 cards left in the Intrigue deck. 2 of them saves the Bene Gesserit Alliance. He finds one. How unlucky am I in this game? What? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. 5% chance he saves the Bene Gesserit Alliance. He finds it. Bonk. 8 ball, corner pocket. I can't believe it. I'm absolutely just crushed here. I'm just like, oh my god. I am just throwing up inside here. Absolute disgust. I'm like, what am I going to do here? This is just, how do I not find that? Unbelievable. But I refuse to go down in just a blaze of hatred and bile. There's still a game to play. As horrible as this game has gone for me, I still have chances. If I can't take this alliance, maybe I can take this one. Maybe. So, I eventually, finally grabbed my Swordmaster. I can't use Signet Ring here for anything. I tried to use Signet Ring here. I was going to, take a bump down from Bene Gesserit to get my friend. Because bear in mind, I've lost my friend, but I still need to get that back. And I was like, oh, wait, I can't do that. Oops. So I used Pytra instead, because I'm never buying spies here. Another Master Tactician. What? How do I find that? There's so many good cards for me. What is going on? You know, any of the endgame cards, Plans Within Plans, Grand Conspiracy is a point, Challenge Shares, Sleeper Must Awaken, there's so many good cards. Give me the Emperor bump. Give me, the Fremen bump card. There's so many good intrigues for us. Reinforcements to find, a third place out of nowhere because we got so much money. Anything. I find Master Tactician again. Unbelievable draw. Just complete garbage in my hand. It's we've gone through so many of them, and loads of them I've struggled to use effectively. So brutal. So brutal. Menon uses Gunflop to pick up the spies, which is, he's just, taking troops out. It's I don't really care anymore. I'm not getting involved in fighting. He's trying to protect his third place a bit here, stopping me from getting involved. I had no intention of doing so anyways. I had other plans in mind, so hey-ho. So we go to reveal phase. Paul here reveals for a lot of swords. I don't know how many that is. He's 7 swords or something. Gets him up to 21. So he's desperately trying to win this combat here. He's got 2 points on the line. It's a big combat for Paul. He doesn't get there. It's pretty bad for him. Leo is completely spent as well, by the way, resource-wise. Completely gone. Used his last resources shoring up the Fremen Alliance, as disgusting as that was. And then obviously picks up resources immediately. Guild Accord, hello. Just a nice restock there. Easy as you like. Easy game. Picks up Negotiate just to put an extra troop into the garrison. It's nice. Kwisatz turns up, but it's too late for him, really. And then here we go. So I go in the tank for a long time here on this situation. I'm like, what on earth do I do? I can't get any more points here. What could I possibly do? What have I got left? The answer is not a lot. I mean, I'm in just absolute jail here. My best hope at this point is probably to try and come third now. I don't think I can try and get in front of Menon, hold him back there. Maybe I can beat Paul, but I just at this point I can't catch Leo. I just don't think it's on. He just looks like he's too strong for me now. It's really sickening. Unless something crazy happens. So I find a really, really good play here. In amongst all my hatred and fury and disgust of how this entire game goes, I find somehow a good move. A brave good move, but a good move. My original plan, of course, was to guild admin in the shadows and to use that to steal the alliance. Obviously, there's no point me doing that now. It's a complete waste of time. But I do have another card I could always trash instead. And so I eventually, after a long tank, I find guild admin to smuggling. This has multiple reasons. First of all, this sets me up for interstellar shipping. This game is not ending this turn. Looking at it, I don't know if it's going to end the following turn. However, if this game ends the following turn, I'm dead anyways, because I'm just nowhere. I have to hope this game is going to go another couple of rounds and find its way to, like, round 9. I've nothing else in the tank here. So I long ball it. Secondly, I can then trash my X-Guild Compact. This gives me 4 negotiators up here, and that is dangerous, you know? People start buying techs. I could pick up whatever they reveal. You know, Spaceport's there immediately. Spy Satellites isn't really doing anything for me now, but it just puts a lot of pressure up here. And if people are going up here towards the end of the game, that's probably good for you, more often than not, so I make that choice. Menon picks up other memory here, and we reveal for just absolutely nothing. But I stay patient, and I don't play any intrigues here. My reasoning for this is that next turn, Aaron's going up. He's first, I'm second. Aaron is never going secrets first action next round. He never does that. It's such a complete waste of time. He's never going there just to take an intrigue from me. He has so much other stuff to do. So I feel totally happy keeping for intrigues. This raises a lot of suspicion in this game. You see, Felkdav is like, you're still not playing intrigues? Like, no, I'm not playing any intrigues. But I calculated, I was like, they're never taking it from me. Secret stealing has gone out of fashion anyways. And there we go. So Paul takes this one down, gets the 2 points with economic supremacy. Lido puts all this effort in just to get 1 point, which is not what he wanted at all, but it's the way it goes. So bit of an unfortunate situation for him, but there we go. So points are allocated, and we go into round 8 here. In this mammoth game here. My game goes completely glitchy as all hell. It's really weird. Look at this. Just like my game lagged horrendously. I had to like reload and like it was all kinds of weird. So here we go. Round 8. Grand Vision is our next combat here. This is another great one for me because now maybe this finds turn 9. If this was like Basin or anything else, it's very possible it's the last one. But Grand Vision doesn't really help anyone here particularly. You look at Grand Vision, you look at what alliances can be stolen here. Well, these two are locked up, so ignore them. This one, in theory, I could steal, but I'm never getting involved in combat, so I'm not going to. Memnon could maybe steal, but you'd have to visit there, probably. So that's kind of not likely. The moment I'm most under threat here is the Fremen, if anything else. So Memnon's going to have to play some defense here. Lido goes up first. We pull this hand here. It's not a pretty hand. It's a pretty bad one. I finally pull my Chris knife here. And I'm like, oh, good. We can reveal this with my liaison and get hold of my Fremen bond that way. Good. That didn't last for long. Memnon, annoyingly, or Leo here, he has to do because he needs to get the point, goes wealth. And like, oh, for goodness sakes. The plan was diplomacy to wealth and then finesse to take the alliance. But it gets denied. Leo gets in there first. I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. And he finds it. He makes the point. He thinks about it for a long time. So he tanks and tanks and tanks. He's like, I feel I've just got to do it and take the point. However, it's not all lost for us here. It comes at a cost because now I can't reveal it, but I have a backup plan. Because I went smuggling the previous turn, I gave myself options. And here we go. It's time. Bene Gesserit Alliance was robbed from us cruelly. Absolutely robbed from us. We should have had that, like, 99 times out of 100. And somehow Leto drew, like, one or two cards that saved the Alliance on the exact moment he needed it. It was disgusting. So here we go. Chris Knife, Interstellar. We'll do it this way instead. We can't get the direct, we'll do it indirect. Here we go. Up and down. Take the troops. Take the bump. Take the extra Solari as well. Take the bump here. Finesse. Bang! Finally we get it down. We don't need that Bene Gesserit influence anymore. Here we go. Rocking and rolling. We finally get our alliance here. Nice. We're back in the game. We so badly needed that here. I don't think I can win this game anymore. It's a fight for second place and trying to get those 3 points here. Here we go. Thank goodness we finally get there. So big for us here. We also garrison up as well, which is always a little bit dangerous here. It looks like we could be threatening all sorts. We could be threatening trying to win this combat. And obviously the double points here. So Memnon has to go Hardy Warriors immediately. Makes total sense. He had been gathering up his forces for tier 3 combat, so this makes total sense here. Get stuck in. Yeah, totally understandable here. Remember when I told you about this game had some highs and many lows? Oh, boy. So, Paul comes up. His alliance is gone. Horror situation for him. He couldn't have prepared for that. I mean, what do you do here? Really brutal situation for him. How does he respond? He goes great flat. What? What's going on here? It's a bit weird. He's got no troops to deploy. He's not really showing much interest in the text going on. What's going on here? It's a little strange. Is he looking for Go Highliner again, maybe? I don't know. Seems a little weird, that. Okay, fine. We'll kind of see how we go here. Leto will end up going with Carthag with Recon to Arakeen. So again, all of this funding of like my Mentats and like everything else here, somehow I'm still being able to pay for war chests. I've gotten so much money for these cities. Like they just keep getting occupied. It's really awesome for us here. So Dagger Mentat makes total sense. Like need to cycle through. Nothing better to do. Kind of wait and see what happens. Make the draw. Charm Delegate. Oh, awesome. Finally, I get my interstellar shipping. Oh, shoot. I'm already there. I mean, just ridiculous, isn't it? Just never drawing the cards you need when you need it. It's just one of those games. My deck just horrendous timing here. I get Charm Delegate when I'm already there. Disgusting. And, of course, next turn, I'm there first anyways. Horrible. Look at this. Memnon goes to... Dreadnoughts again, and he takes Spice Satellites. He pays the 4 Spice for the victory point with the Bene Gesserit. I mean, I'm not against it. You might as well. It's there. I guess it means you don't have to go there, I suppose. I'm not totally against that, but he's going all in with detonation devices. Look at this. Paul Atreides. This I couldn't believe. Wait, what? I mean, what's going on here? And the moment he goes conspire, I start laughing. I literally start laughing. Are you kidding me? What? I knew it was coming. He's had this since the start of the game. It's round 8. Paul never used his strong arm. What? What? How? What? How does he... You gotta be kidding. What? Unbelievable. How can you ever expect that? Now, because if he had his guild bump one instead, he would already have played it by now in 7 turns. He'd have seen me getting close. He would have used it as a deterrent. The only card he has that could save this alliance, he has. Are you kidding me? Now, it turns out, he says later on, that he was actually intending to use it for the Fremen later on, to use it to steal that alliance, but I went here first, so he had to defend it. That did not make me feel any better about my life. We are dead last again. Is this the most cursed Tesia game you've ever seen? 2 alliance deals, both times they had the one intrigue to get themselves out of that situation and cement the alliance. Are you kidding me? And Leo had to draw. He didn't even have it. I don't want to swear here. I really don't want to swear, but I had to take a moment and I switched the mic off, basically, and I was just almost inconsolable. How unlucky have I been this game? I know it's easy to play the victim, but I mean, you gotta be kidding me, right? Every plan has just fallen apart in this game. What am I ever gonna do here? Paul gets the 8, Leo's at 8 here now, and I'm just like, this is just a complete disaster. And where am I getting my points? I don't see anything. Horrible spot. Leto follows up. He ends up going smuggling. He's prepping up for going interstellar shipping, maybe at some point like I've done plenty of times, which is, understandable. The idea being that if this game does go another turn, that he can go into the shipping because no one else really has much to gain from it. It'd be more just like a block of letting him not go there. And at this point, I'm so angry. Like, I am absolutely furious at this point. I'm absolutely furious at this point of how this has gone. And it's just like, how can this happen? How does this continue to happen here? And it's like, you gotta be kidding me. But I managed to keep enough of a clear head for the rest of this turn here. I make a good initial play here, and I go steel suits. I get my Fremen point back. I've just got to get back on the horse, and I've got to do something here. Maybe I can get hold of 3rd spot here. Leto's out of actions. I can use Master Tactician here, and I can steal 2nd place for him, maybe. Deny him an intrigue and cycle out this intrigue. I don't need it. It's doing nothing for me. There's so many other better intrigue cards for us to find that we can get hold of. We've gone through, like, a quarter of the deck ourselves, it feels like. Memnon goes to Siege, just throws in another Dreadnought. He doesn't need to put in anything more here, in theory. But he gets spooked. He gets spooked here, and he's like, ooh, hold on. I've still got actions to go, and I've got a load of intrigues. And he's noticed about the fact I have used very few of them, and he must suspect that there's trouble brewing. And look at this. Memnon. The power of intrigues, everyone. Even if you can have the worst intrigues in the game, if you've just got several of them, it makes people do stuff they would never do otherwise. And Memnon throws it all in. Look at this. He throws it all in. All but one, he gets stuck in. He's like, I've got to defend here. Like, I've got no choice. Insanity. Insane when you see what his hand is as well. Complete madness. He's doing this as a deterrent to try and stop me here. He's that sure I'm going to commit. Carthag's sitting there. He's just thinking I'm just going to go there all day, I guess. Paul here, look at this. Look at this from Paul here. So Paul goes up to tech negotiation, and he puts a negotiator down again. What? He doesn't buy anything. He doesn't buy restricted ordnance. He doesn't buy, like, anything. No Holtzman. There's nothing. What? Unbelievable. He just puts negotiators down. Couldn't believe it. It seemed nuts. Lena goes to reveal here, I believe. He's out of actions. I forget what he has. I forget what happens here. He's got 6. So there's a Guild Ambassador point. Merry Christmas. Leno looks like he's probably going to win this game here, but Memnon's looking kind of dangerous still, There's still potential for madness. Who knows in this game? And it goes back to me. And I'm still absolutely sick to my bones of this game. I want nothing more to do with it. I'm done. But I just refuse to just throw it in. I can't bring myself to throw in the towel. I've got to keep going here. I have to fight on. Somehow I find this play. It's a monster play in this situation. I've got barely any access. I'm like, well, what can I do here? I could go Charm Delegates to go smuggling here. And I could do that and then go interstellar shipping next turn. But what does it really do me? What does my influence do for me? It does nothing. I can't get any more points influence. The troops, I'm never getting committed. The shipping's no good for me anymore. It's just dead to me. All right, so I've got my liaison here. Maybe I should use that for something. And I decide to do so, but not for what you think. I find a really cool play here. I want to go High Council because I've got to buy spice somewhere. Next turn, I'm going to be first to act. I've got 2 water. Research station. We hit it. We hope for dear Lord that it all works itself out. But the problem is, I want to get High Council, but I have to fund war chest. And then suddenly I realize, hold on a second. I've got Charm Delegate. I can just reveal the delegate, and that's it. It's 10 Solari. I'm back in it. War chest is still online here. And wow, I'm so glad I found that move. And of course, this gets Counter Dispensation online as well, which is super big. We've been waiting for it for so long. So a really, really good move that, like, given the situation and the context of the game and where I was mentally with this, that was one of the better moves I think I made all game, was finding that move and realizing that it actually worked itself out. So I'm really proud of that. Memnon reveals Worm Rider. It's 22 strength here, completely overcommits in this one. Knowing that you had Worm Riders, you did not need to put in that many troops, but there you go. It ended up happening here. Paul reveals his firm grip finally online here. Buy Spice takes him to 9 points, and this game's just getting away from him. Like, oh man, my best bet at this point is the hope I just somehow come third to beat Memnon. But look at all these points Memnon's about to gather here. Oh my gosh. So I reveal, I pick up the Solari here. I have 4 to buy. I don't even bother. I'm like, nothing here is of any good to me. It's a waste of time. So combat is resolving. I play the Tactician. I deny Leto the Intrigue. And I'm like, I've got to recycle. As I've said several times, there's so many intrigues better for me here. Charm Shares, Sleeper Must Awaken, Water of Life. Plans Within Plans is about to be a point because I can go somewhere. You've got Grand Conspiracy. That's a point. I've got Spice. I've got 2 influence. I can get that. You know, I've got High Council. Like, I can make this all work. Anything's better than Tactician. I get Allied Armada. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm sorry, everyone. It's an hour 40 into the video. What? This game is just trolling me now, right? Allied Armada? Absolute rib. What the absolute hell is this game? Disgusting. Remnon wins the game, wins the battle, takes Grand Vision, takes the point for detonation devices. He puts his point with... Now, this is interesting here from Memnon. Notice this from Memnon here. He uses his Grand Vision points. You think that Bene Gesserit is an automatic pull. And, of course, I realized, oh, he's got spy satellites. So he uses it for the Emperor to just garrison another couple of troops there. That's a nice little spot there. Would have been tempting to maybe just put it into the Fremen here and just lock it up, but decides against it in the end, which is a little brave, but okay. And so here we go. Round 9. A rare round 9 in these games. Arakeen is the battle, so I get a spare troop for what that's worth, which is not a lot really. And I stick to my guns. We've pulled in the shadows, which is nice, but, like, not really doing anything else anymore. I'm just like, oh, for goodness sakes. I just gotta get spies and get war chest and hope I find a 3rd point. So what else am I gonna do here? It's a horror spot here. So I stick to my guns in the shadows, research station. We make it, and we've got nothing to do here. See what happens. We draw. Not very good. Didn't pull well at all there. At this point, we have 9 exactly. Not what we're looking for here. I mean, I have 9 victory points, but where's 9 victory points going to get me? Nowhere. These guys are going to get points here. Memnon's going to be threatening. He might well win here. What do I do? Discard for the Fremen bump here just to try and make something happen. You could argue maybe I go to the Gesserit instead and take the Intrigue in that way. Yeah, it's not an outrageous decision, but I fancied going this way first. I don't think it's bad. Like, going here just to try and put some material pressure on Memnon, try and just mess with him as much as I can here. It's the least I can do. Memnon doesn't care. He goes to Dreadnoughts for a 3rd time in this game here. Unbelievable here. But, of course, Dream Tech leaving there. No, and Paul never took it, and he just takes Restricted Ordnance like it was nothing. Oh, what have you done, Paul? I'm not blaming you entirely, but you had to take that and deny it, and you didn't. What? Unbelievable. Sonic Snoopers turns up here, by the way, is the next deck. I'm like, oh, man. I could take it. As a world, I take Sonic. I take that. But if I was going to do that, what I should have done is discarded Charm Delegate and then use my dagger to go here. But I've discarded that instead. That was probably a mistake. Maybe I should have gotten a Charm here. Because I'm never going into Stellar here. I'm not really using it or anything. So that was a slight mistake there, I'll submit. It's inaccurate. It's not a big deal, given the game and how horrendous this has gone for me at times. But it is what it is. Paul, finally, after a bit of a tank, goes Boundless, goes to Steel Suits again here. And this is where he said, like he later on said that he was going to use Strong Arm to take this alliance from blue here. Which would have been good for me, to be fair, ultimately, because, like, I'm never winning this game. Second place at average. I'm basically hoping to come third now. There's nothing else really for me to do here. Just hold on for dear life. So Steel Suits is in, gives him a water. Lido ends up going to Interstellar, cashes in, of course, as he was going to do. His troop transports. And he takes a point with the Fremen, as he should do. Makes total sense. The only influence point he hasn't got yet. And so it's back to me, and I immediately go for it. I'm like, okay, spaceports are there. I'm going to go with Tech Negotiation. It means I have 8 Persuasion in my hand, but this should give me the spice and the ability to do something else. So I immediately bomb for it. I get it for free, courtesy of the X-Guild combat, which is kind of insane. Doesn't cost me any spice at all. Mimic turns up, so irrelevant. Pick up Piter and Signet Ring. Ooh, that's nice. Piter's huge. I know I'm getting my, I'm definitely getting my, my goods in now. Really, really nice. So Spice just flows in for 8. War Chest is in for 9. Where's my 10th point? Where's it coming from? Suspicious. Memnon continues to throw troops in, as he, of course, should do. Goes Arakeen. And Memnon wants to get 4 points here. He wants 2 for Arakeen, 1 for Dreadnought. He also wants to buy Spice Must Flow, so he's trying to draw as heavily as he can to find it. He's desperate to find it here. Paul Atreides, yeah, look at this. It's so brutal, like, he had Strong Arm. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. Like, it's just disgusting that he somehow didn't use it in, like, 6 turns. He held on to it. Like, what on earth was going on there? I have no idea. So he goes Hardy Warriors, getting troops in, and like, oh, for goodness sakes, what's going on here? So Leto goes up next. Leto grabs Mentat. Oh, really wanted to get hold of Mentat here. I was hoping he wouldn't pull it, but of course he does. And so this is the game situation. I have 1 action left in this game. What on earth do I do here? What is the play? Where's my 3rd point coming from? Influence. Locked up. Nothing to get here. Spices Float, I'm not buying 2. Combat. I'm never winning this combat. I heavily considered Dispensation Highliners. I heavily considered it. And using War Chest to try and take this one down. This would have given me 9 troops in, 18 strength, plus 4 swords of War Chest for 22. Is 22 strength enough to win this combat? It looks good. But Memnon has so much power. He still has an action to go. He's got troops in garrison. He's got both dreadnoughts restricted. I'm never beating Memnon here. It's just not happening. I can't make that play. As much as I want to try and win it. If I win this combat here, and manage to save War Chest somehow, I would get 11 points, but that's a complete fantasy. It's never happening here. So where else am I getting my 10th point? Where's it coming from? What else have I got? I can't go Sonic Snoopers and go fishing for that and try and cycle and stuff. I already went there. And Dreadnought's got blocks, so I can't even do that. Memnon decided to go there again, which I did not expect to happen. The sad reality is there is no 10th point. I don't have one. I'm at 9. I'm stuck at it. There's nothing I can do here. I'm completely shut out of this game. It's over for us, folks. I'm relying on Chalmurky to help secure further, and that's it. I'm absolutely screwed. I find 1 Hail Mary here. 1 last chance to try and salvage anything from this game. I think, and I tanked for like 3 minutes here, just trying to find any play I've got here. You know, do I go Peter to just like, you know, well, I can't do Peter to anything here. You know, do Peter to like Carthag and send troops in and try and go like double intrigue here? It doesn't do anything for us really. Although, and I could have done that. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I could. Oh, I could have done that actually. I had 9 persuasion. I don't do that. Instead, I take it slightly differently. Although, actually, that would have been slightly more accurate than doing what I ended up doing. And that was, I go diplomacy, and I go to secrets, and I just double draw, and I hope to God that it works. Hail Mary. Again, so many influences, intrigues even give us points here. Grand Conspiracy is now a point because we moved there. Plans within plans is a point. We don't get anything for the Corner the Market one, but there's so many options for us. We can still get, Chow Murky's means we can spend Seed Must Awaken. Don't have to worry about it. So many chances. Expedite. Bypass. About as bad as I could have drawn again. What is going on in this game? One final middle finger from this game. Like, what can you do? The only thing you can do, folks, is to try and make the best plays that you can see. And if the game just continues to spit in your face, what can you do? No urgent mission. No nothing. I get trash. Memnon goes into Imperial Basin to cash in 3 more spice and get more troops in, as he's going to. I was never going to win this combat. It's a complete fantasy. Don't even consider about that. Paul goes with his Worm Riders. He goes to Carthag here, and this is a sick play. You're going to see what happened here later on. Absolutely disgusting, this here. Leto goes to Siege to get more troops in. I reveal and buy spice. There's nothing else I can do here. I take the cash. Memnon reveals, did not pick up his spiceless flow, but instead pulled 1,000,000 swords. So I made the right choice not going highline. That was a complete waste of time. Paul reveals, doesn't have enough for spice here, so just gets negotiated for a garrison troop. Nothing else to do here. And Leto reveals and gets another point for his guild ambassador. So he's at 11. This game looks, I wouldn't say over in his win. He hasn't won yet. But it's not looking too great here. It looks like Memnon's going to get 3 points here. He's getting to 10. He's winning the combat here. So my only hope at this point is I beat Paul. And I try and hold on with Chow Murky. It gets me over the line. It's the only thing I've got here. Watch this. He pulled Stage Incident from Carthag. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Actually, no, he might have been the other one here. Oh, no, he didn't pull that. Okay, so this is the one he already had. He has 10 points. I'm lost. That's it. It's game over. 4th spot. What do you do? Now, as it turns out, there is one last twist to this game. Now, this other card that Blind has here is Ambush. If we zoom in a little bit here, he completely misses this. He plays Ambush. He gets the 7 strength steal with his Stage Incident. We tie 3rd place. We both get nothing. He lets me have one last intrigue draw. I find Grand Conspiracy for the 10th point. I get 3rd place. This game is insane. Absolute madness. Here's the standings after the result here, by the way. So as you can see, things are not looking good for us, folks. 2 games in, 4 points. There's absolute group of death here. Means I basically have to win one of my remaining games to have any chance of succeeding in this one, but yeah. This has got to be one of the most brutal Tesia games I've ever played. It has got to be one of perhaps the most brutal Doom games in general that I've ever played. Everything that could have gone wrong did. About every timing that I tried to muster was thwarted by sheer luck. this was a difficult one. This was a really, really difficult game to stomach. But I hope that this has been informative to you guys and that you've learned something from this through my pain and misery. And, yeah. Maybe in hindsight, and hindsight's always 2020, the only one mistake that I think, like a proper error that I think I guess I made all game, was that I did not go Swordmaster here. Or not there. When was it? When I went Swordmaster here. I should have just gone Swordmaster with Dagger and called it a day. This was my one error in this game. And I accept that. It was impossible to know how much this was going to spiral out of control. You never know. Sometimes you decide not to go Swordmaster, and it just works itself out, and you just go the next turn, it's okay. As it turned out, I got blocked and blocked and blocked and blocked, and things came up, and I had to defend alliances. But when you think about what happened with the Bene Gesserit alliance still, and how that was robbed, and then you think of the Emperor alliance, and how that was robbed, what can you do? Sometimes it just isn't meant to be, folks. So, thank you all for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. I will take any and all commiserations and sympathies that you're willing to offer. And we will see you all in the next conflict. Take care, everyone.